I'll get there. But point is that I hope and pray that no matter what happens, that this event continues to grow, and we continue to keep. The thing about whether it's the Reptarium, the Legacy Aquarium, Animal Con, anything I do, it's always about my vision. And so I've grown a team of people. Of course, my wife Lori, who is in the back right now. Please give her a hand.
Love you, Brian.
I wouldn't be anything without Lori, and she's the most amazing person in the world, and she's with me every minute of every day, and supports me like unbelievable. But she understands what my vision is, and so do everyone else that's around me, my staff, my people, my partners. Everyone understands it. It's not about making an event that's going to make us rich. It's about making an event that's going to enrich people. And no matter what happens, they will carry that torch till the day, it is. And I'm sorry that, it's been an emotional weekend for me, seeing you guys and stuff, it's amazing, and I appreciate it. But 10 years from now, I hope this will be one of the largest events in the country for animals. And I know that can be made possible if we, as the people behind it, keep that vision in mind. Not the vision of making money, but the vision of how do we make the event better for creators, better for attendees. It's funny, my COO is here, Chuck. He's somewhere around here. I think he's doing meet and greets. And Lori, myself, Chuck, his family are all big Disney fans, and I've talked about this before. We love Disney, and the thing about Disney that I love, I don't go on rides. I hate roller coasters. I hate rides. I don't do it. I'm one of those old guys that sits down and waits for 2 hours as my wife goes on a ride. But I love Disney, and what I love about Disney is not the theme park. I love the fact that Walt Disney's vision was so incredible. Right? And I know some people that work for Disney, and to talk to them about, you work for Disney? Yes. Oh, there you go, Disney. Dude, I love Disney's Animal Kingdom, man. My buddy Matt also works for Disney's Animal Kingdom as a keeper. And I love the vision, and what Walt Disney was about was, he was about experience and detail to experience. Every little thing had to be perfect, right? You have to think about every little aspect of everything you do to give that experience. And that's what the Reptarium and now the Legacy Aquarium is going to be about. Is, how can we make every experience so incredible that people leave going, wow. And I've said that with Disney, and this is no disrespect for Disney, but Disney's the only place that I know that you can go and they will extract every dollar out of your pocket. And you leave and you cannot wait to go back and do it again. And that's because they provided you an experience that's so great that you don't care that you went into debt to do it, And so and it's not that I want to extract people's money, but the point is I want to have that same mentality. I've always said I want to be the Walt Disney of animals, because I want to create experiences that no one else can get. And I know you guys have been to the Reptarium. I know plenty of people have been to the Reptarium. I hope that we provide something that's really special there. And the Legacy Aquarium is the same thing. And now Animal Con to me is the same thing. The thing I love is that Walt Disney's been gone a long time, decades. But yet, his vision at the park is still exactly the same. Nothing has changed since he's passed away. And that's what's important to me, is to make sure that my vision continues to stay alive forever, long past whether it's a year from now or 30 years from now, you know, that vision is here, and that's really what I live for, you know. It's like I said, Lori and I have, again, I'm so blessed to have her. Like, Lori's simple as can be when it comes to, like, she'll, you know, other than buying plants, you know, which has been something she's been doing a lot of lately, which I encourage. I'm an enabler, right? You know, I'm an enabler. Like, every plant she sees, she wants to buy, I'm like, get it. Get it. You know, because I think it's, for me, you know, she spent her life doing that with me. Now maybe she's not saying get it, maybe she's yelling at me, but you know, she's allowed me to, I mean, come on, think about it. Like, oh, I'm married to someone that's allowed me to frickin' have thousands of animals, build a reptile zoo, I mean, the crazy stuff that I've done, and she supported me on it. It's ridiculous, right? So, of course, if I can support her on some plants, I'm gonna do it. And if our house turns into a jungle, I'll be happy because it brings her happiness, you know, and I'm so blessed for that. And that's the thing, guys, you know, I think that, you know, again, I think that I'd like to, you know, in the short time, I would like to take a few questions from you. I just want kind of about 5 or 6 minutes, and I want to hear from you guys. But the biggest thing for me is, before I take a question or two, is that I want to continue to inspire you guys. You know, follow your dreams. Don't do the things you don't want to do. You know what I mean? You know, Jay Tomsky, who's running around here with his camera, who's one of my dearest friends, and I love him to death. He knows when he came on, I said to him, I don't do anything I don't want to do, period. Doesn't matter how much money's in it, doesn't matter how smart of a business decision it is. If I don't like it and I don't want to do it, I don't do it, period. I only do things in life that I'm going to love, so that I wake up in the morning and I'm excited to get the day going. And I want to continue to encourage people to do that, because, you know, my whole life I was told I couldn't do this, I couldn't do this. And Lori and I have proved over and over, you can do whatever you want, you know, as long as you believe in yourself and you work hard and you sacrifice. So I want to continue to encourage everyone from young to old. If you're not happy in life with your job, or you're not, do something different. You know what I mean? Don't live that life. You know what I mean? Because no matter how long I have left, I've been so blessed to live the life I've lived with the people that I've been surrounded with, and even my crew back home. I mean, you guys don't understand how much I love everybody around me. We've surrounded ourselves with great people. We're doing amazing things, and it's been a beautiful thing. And now Animal Con, you know, literally I've cried so many times this weekend because of you guys, and I appreciate you so much. You know, it's like I'm taking screenshots of things in my head because this is such a special moment. But listen, let me ask you a couple questions. I know you guys answer a couple questions I know you guys might want to know about me, or about the event, or about the aquarium, or whatever. So who's got something for me, and I'll answer it. No one. There's a whole ton of people. There's not one person. Go ahead, bud.
What's the dream animal that you want to get?
The dream animal, we were talking about it last night with my buddy Peter and Matt, and Matt has worked with them in a couple facilities, Reptiland and as well as Disney. And it would be Komodo dragons. That's my dream. You know, that's a dream animal. I mean, I will say that, you know, I am a little bit jealous, a little bit more than jealous of Dingo that has a giraffe. You know, he's probably the only giraffe owner in the world. Because giraffes, if you guys don't know, giraffes are my favorite animal. Like, of all animals of the world, giraffes are my favorite animal. But I'm not going to be able to fit an animal in the reptarium. Or a giraffe in the reptarium. Yeah, we need a little mini one. But realistically, if I could get an animal, which is very difficult because of AZA and so on like that, which is the American Zoological Association, zoos don't let private individuals have Komodo dragons. They're protected by the AZA, but I think that'll change one day potentially, and that's the dream animal, is a Komodo dragon. I've worked with them in the past. I've been to the Flores Islands in Indonesia, and they're just amazing. I mean, they're true dragons. They're dinosaurs, and I would love to one day have one. You know, so That's the dream animal. Okay, one or two more, go ahead.
Why was Orlando chosen for Animal Con, and in the future would you plan on doing it somewhere else besides?
Yeah, so the question was, why Orlando for Animal Con, and would I move it? It's a great question, really good question. First off, the reason we chose not only Orlando, but this particular location, was this was the location I used to do the YouTube events in, and I was really impressed with the facilities. I thought it was really, we didn't want to have like a warehouse with, you know, we wanted to feel upscale. And I also love the amenities, the pool, the rooms were great, and I really enjoyed myself. I came here several times before Playlist Live, which was a YouTube event, moved actually down the street to another hotel because they outgrew it. And hopefully we'll outgrow this one day. Sorry, Creed, but hopefully we will. As far as moving, it's a tough one, right? We've talked about two things, well, three things. One, stay. Two, maybe move it to another state, like Texas maybe. That's a little bit more just friendly to things that you need to do than Florida. Florida has some issues that we have to jump through hurdles and stuff like that. But the other side about Florida, the good side about Florida is that, for people that are coming in, if you wanted, there's Gatorland, there's a million things you can do. Which is, by the way, obviously Savannah, I love her to death. She's one of my favorite people on the planet. Really seriously love her to death. And I don't think I've come to Florida and not gone to Gatorland in the last 8-9 years or whatever. I mean, like, that's my Disney, Gatorland. I would spend more time, even though I love Disney, I would still go to Gatorland over Disney, because it's just such an amazing place. And so if you haven't been, please go. You guys will not be disappointed. Unfortunately, some of you won't be able to come, but we have an after party tonight at Gatorland, so we're super excited about that. So maybe as you guys are hoping to be creators in the future, you can go to Gatorland with us, and it's absolutely, they're amazing. So anyways, the problem is that, there's that, right? We love all of the things around here. The other thing that we talked about a little bit is and I don't know, I'd love to almost know you guys afterwards, tell me or email me or message me, is do we move like maybe a location each year so that we change the scenery? Do we maybe find a really cool facility like the Audubon Zoo in New Orleans? There you go. Like everything you remember. Like, do we find a facility like that accommodates us and says like, hey, we can do some events there and give that opportunity. So I don't know. So those are questions. I think that to answer, next year we'll probably be here. After that, we'll make decisions. And we'll try to do what's best for everybody. Follow up?
Or maybe you'll have more events, 2 a year, right?
Well, yeah, you said maybe we'll have a couple a year, possibly. I will say that business model has typically not worked for other conventions. It's like when you dilute it to 2, you typically you have a harder time having a successful show because you're diluted. Again, Playlist has tried it, a few other people have tried it where they had one in Orlando, one in DC, then they moved even a couple out of the country, it didn't work. So I don't know, you gotta remember, I'm not a promoter. I don't put on conventions for a living. We're learning, just as you guys are here, I'm learning and I'm listening to you guys too. So please, feedback is really good for us, so.
Thank you for coming to Florida.
Yeah, well, I do love Florida. I'd never live here because you guys are nuts, but I do love Florida, and I love visiting. It's just great. One last question, and then we're going to turn over. Just so you guys know, today is a typical day where we've got the 4 breakout rooms back here with a lot of great panelists. Pick what you want to support, what you want to listen to. I think I'm on a couple, 2 or 3 panels later today. But there's some great people. If you have any questions about the schedule, feel free to go up and talk to Lori, because she's the only person that needs to be talked to. No, she's like, leave me alone. But we got plenty of staff that can help you guys out with any questions. So anyways, one last question, and then we'll go from there. I'm going to get the guy in the back with that Animal Planet guy, or Animal Kingdom guy.
So, given that we have Forrest Galante as a community guest, do you think with the future events, we might have some more well-renowned guests, like, for example, the Kraft Brothers, the Irwin family, Nigel Martin. Do you ever have any intention for having community guests like that?
Yeah, so the question is just like, will we have some other guests? Like, Forrest, obviously, it comes from the TV world, and we want to cover that as well. We don't want it to be just a YouTube event or a TikTok event. We want it to be all media, all animal personalities. We actually reached out to the Kratz last year, and they turned us down. They just said that they didn't want to do an event like this. I think that I'm always going to shoot for the best of the best, right? I'm always going to continue to try to find people that people want to meet and hang around. So as I think AnimalCon develops and becomes, I think this year we did really well. I think that it went from being a concept that we didn't know if it would work to being something that's like, all right, this is going to probably work now. So now we can swing for the fences a little bit more, you know what I mean? The other thing we can do is we can go to like the Kratz. When I reached out to them last year, I understand why they turned me down. It's a new event. We don't know if 5 people are going to show up or 5,000 people are going to show up. And so they were like, yeah, it's just not worth our time, Now we can say, hey, look at this is what our turnout was. Your fans are going to love you, And so, yeah, I think any personality that does great things for animals, I want here. Period. And it doesn't matter how I even personally think about them. I might think like, oh, I don't really like these people, but other people do. I'm going to do it. There's a lot of people I invited here, that I didn't have great relationships with prior to inviting, and now we have great relationships, And that's, I guess, I'll leave you guys with that. Is that, I think that's probably one of the things that I love the most about this event is seeing people that didn't necessarily get along online, competing, and now seeing them hang out together and be friends. And that's a beautiful thing. So regardless, I hope you guys have an amazing day today. I hope that you guys support everybody. We got Dingo here.
I just wanted to, on behalf of all of us here, thank you for bringing us together. All I've heard for 2 days is how this man has influenced all of our lives, and your legacy is with us. And I want us as a community also to commit. It's not Brian and his team that have to make this event happen next year. We need to take some responsibility and say, this is our community, and these guys have pioneered it, but we need to step up and say, we want to make this event happen next year, and to bring more people and to make it more successful. So stand to your feet for the Barczyk family and team.